r/ask Reddit. What a childhood meal you loved as a kid, but find disgusting as an adult? Kid cuisine. Soggy fries and spongy nugs. Classic, but also kind of gross. The pudding that sometimes spilled over into the mac and cheese. One of the most relatable comments in a while. Not a meal per se, but Sunny D. It's so sweet I feel like I'm going to die. When I was home alone in the summer, I would microwave a piece of white bread with a Kraft single on top. Not about that life anymore. Try it in a toaster oven. Let the top film of the cheese bubble up and brown a bit. We called them cheese pop-ups. They were not terrible. LOL, this is now my top comment. It is good to hear everyone's variations and nostalgic love for the cheese pop-up. And for those asking, I am not talking about the plastic film. When you toast American cheese slices, the outer layer of the cheese is different from the inside of the cheese and it bubbles up as a weird film that turns brown and is delicious. A single slice of processed American cheese. Ducking kid cuisines. 5 Yomi. Wow, this is delicious. 20 Yomi, making one for my nieces. Wow, this all looks terrible, I'm so sorry. Damn. This is the third time I've seen them in this thread. They must suck. My grandmother used to make me peanut butter and mayonnaise sandwiches. I honestly don't know if they are disgusting now. I can't imagine actually eating one. Loved these as a kid. Had a babysitter quit because she was too disgusted making them for me. 20 years later I understand where she was coming from. I used to eat cheese with sandwiches for lunch all the time as a young kid, since we could afford it. After years of it I came to hate it, and I can't stand it. My grandma used to make cheese whiz on toast for me. I loved it then, but the thought of eating that now makes me want to vomit. Trix cereal. Those ducking kids were right. Trix are for kids. Yep, I just can't do fruity cereals anymore. Trix, Fruity Pebbles, etc. just doesn't sit right with me. Not a meal, but frosting. As a kid I'd try to get the cake piece or cupcake with the most frosting and lick it all off. Yum. Now as an adult, when I get those cupcakes with this big swirl of frosting on it like soft serve ice cream, I can't stand them. I scrape about 90% of that stuff off. And frosting flowers, used to love them. My favorite meal was something my mom called tuna fish casserole. As an adult I discovered it was a can of tuna mixed with cream of mushroom soup with potato chips on top. Go to adult it up. Throw some roasted garlic and cheddar cheese in it and do a panko breadcrumb and cheese topping instead of chips. Still use cream of mushroom and tuna though. Also some pasta. Sugar water. Sugar. Dissolved in water. Edgar. Your skin's hanging off your bones. Gogurt. I loved the bright blue colored ones. They weren't even fruit flavored and were called something like Paradise Punch. It was just a thick sugar, flavor, and milk mix. Now, true kings would throw them gogurts in the freezer and have frozen gogurt popsicles. Bologna and ketchup sandwiches. White bread. Room temperature. Met a guy last year who eats straight up ketchup sandwiches. Hope he rots in hell. Sometimes I get a craving for bologna and cheese sandwiches. Slightly warm and damp, like those you'd get in free brown bag lunches with a carton of milk. Yum. Just get incarcerated. It's like a walk down memory lane. Chef Boyardee ravioli. No one wants to admit they ate 8 cans of ravioli. What we used to do was take bread, layer on margarine, then sprinkle a coating of sugar on top. Sweet, but holy hell, I cringe to think I used to demand that every day. Add cinnamon then toast it. Vienna sausage. I feel nauseous thinking about it, but I'll always duck with egg and rice. Growing up in California, we had to make school mandated emergency kits, and for some reason the manifest of items we needed to include in our bags listed Vienna sausages. We called them teeny weenies. These were kept in a metal train car on school grounds, and we got to take the bags home at the end of the school year. That's when we'd crack open our can of teeny weenies and taste true shame. Hungry Man TV dinners. I ducking loved them as a kid. I was also a husky child, so I would have 2 at a time. I just had one recently and boy are they not great. Which is surprising, considering how much salt is in TV dinners. You wouldn't expect them to be so bland. Not food, but Mondo drinks. I remember chugging those things down 2 at a time. I found some in a grocery store last year and bought it for nostalgia's sake. Immediately felt like I was going to get diabetes. I don't know if they changed the ingredients over the years or my tastes are just different, but it was absolutely terrible. Fruit punch Minute Maid Fruitopia. Jesus, the amount of sugar in that makes my mouth pucker. I used to eat spaghetti with Italian dressing on it. Maybe it actually is still good, but for some reason it now seems nasty. Good times. Noodle salad. Fish fingers. I'll still smash down some fish fingers or frozen fish fillets. The whole frozen fried food aisle is my guilty pleasure. When I was younger I used to love protein bars. No idea why. Had one yesterday and it tasted like a sand brick. There are definitely some good ones, and also plenty of garbage ones that have the texture of chalk and the taste of dry brick, as you mentioned, haha. Frozen pot pies. I'm talking about the cheap ones in the little tin bowls, not the fancy ones in the green box. When my dad went out of town, my mom would let us pick our own dinner for the night, and that's what we would get every time. We were spoiled as kids whose mom made amazing home cooked meals every night, so the thought of the crappiest food we could find was so exciting to us. Either that or it was the rush we would get from the sodium blasting through our systems. We would even have competitors to see who had the most fake chicken chunks versus veggies. Chef Boyardee. Not a meal, but Cosmo brownies. Used to be able to eat them one after another, now I'll duck and gag. These are one of my guilty pleasures. I ducking love cosmic brownies. Hamburger helper. I used to have it all the time as a kid. Tried making some last year and it was just terrible. That acrid taste of cheap tomato-ish flavoring. Vienna sausages. Yeah, but did you drink the sausage water like the other ducking degenerate in this thread? Most sugary cereals. Still love the occasional bowl of mini wheats, though. Starburst candy. Not so much the taste. I can still enjoy them today. As a child, I would unwrap each Starburst individually. Then, I would put all 12 in my hand and squeeze them together. Once I created my Starburst ball, I would eat it like an apple. McDonald's. I don't know why, but there's this weird metallic aluminium taste whenever I eat McDonald's now, and I'm not sure if it's me or is the food always been that horrible. As a child I used to make what I deemed super sandwiches. I would make sandwiches with peanut butter, jelly, mayo, ketchup, mustard, ham, pickles, cheese, chocolate sauce, literally whatever I could find in the fridge. I was too young to really remember it, but I guess I would pound those sandwiches every day. At least I wasn't a picky eater. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.